Hi again, Greg with the Seahawks after their 27-17 preseason victory tonight against Dallas here at CenturyLink Field. The third preseason game. It's supposed to be the dress rehearsal, the final extended play time for starters before the regular season begins September 11th. And Russell Wilson, as I wrote in the News Tribune, looked tuxedo sharp. 16 for 21, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. First 2 touchdown passes of his preseason. In fact, when he was into the middle of the third quarter, it's the first 20 points the Seahawks starting offense has scored in 3 preseason games. Wilson was very sharp, getting the ball out early, on time, early in the game, which is what Pete Carroll said he had to do last week when he got sacked 4 times in the first half by Minnesota. Last week it was got to get the ball out quicker to help the offensive line. Well, there was a touchdown pass that you may have seen at this end zone right here. Tyler Lockett catching a 9-yard pass that Wilson did not 1 but 2 pirouettes, is back to the line of scrimmage, ran about 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage before he threw the ball. It was against Dallas' second-team defense, yes, in the third quarter, but that isn't a kind of extended sandlot improvisational play that just last week Pete Carroll said Wilson can't do anymore. Well, tonight after the game he said that he did it again, meaning Russell Wilson did his own unique way of making plays. So the Seahawks have to live with both the good and the bad. And their offensive line have to learn to block for longer times, because plays that we saw tonight Wilson make is what emboldens him to do that more and more, and he will continue to do it in the regular season. Wilson said he's not going to ever take that out of his game, but he is mindful of getting the ball out on time for his offensive line. About that line, it started again, Bradley Sowell at left tackle, Gary Gilliam at right tackle, but then in the middle of the second quarter, Jamarcus Webb made his first Seahawks game appearance, and he played into the third quarter. Really tough to tell from the press box who had the better of that among the 3 tackles. Pete Carroll said the same thing without seeing the game film. He wasn't quite sure who had the better of that, but it's still 3 men for 2 spots at the tackle positions. The middle line is set. Justin Britt looked good, I thought, tonight at center. Mark Lewinsky at left guard, and the right guard is going to be Germain Ifedi, the rookie, who I also thought looked good, especially in the run block game. The big highlight and talk after the game was Cam Chancellor going head up against Ezekiel-Elliott, the Cowboys' rookie running back, 3 different times on one drive in the middle of the first quarter. First time Elliott ran him over. He did. He got into him, lower than Chancellor, into his chest, knocked him back, fell over him for a 13-yard run to midfield. The very next play was a pass play, a dump-off pass. Chancellor just went after Elliott, hit him as the ball arrived, a little bit after the ball arrived late, flagged late for unnecessary roughness. Chancellor told me after the game, told all the reporters after the game, that shouldn't have been a flag because the pass was tipped and changed direction as Chancellor was about to launch into the hit on Elliott. He couldn't stop his hit, and he didn't know where the ball was at the time after it got hit. So Chancellor said if he does get fined for the hit, he's going to appeal it. Elliott, for his part, told Dallas reporters in the locker room after the game, whatever, I thought it was a dirty play, but he didn't sound too upset about it. In fact, reports were that Elliott was smiling about it. Chancellor said he loved the challenge, said he was surprised by the rookie and how physical he was on that first hit. And then he even went back for a 3rd time when Elliott took on Chancellor again, reputed to be one of the hardest hitters in the NFL. Elliott took him on again on a 3rd run of that drive, and again got maybe the better of Chancellor, at least a draw at best. So Chancellor said he loved it, and that if it had been a full game, it would have been a bloodbath, was his quote. Chancellor came out after that drive. Kelsey McCray came in as planned at strong safety because Chancellor is just coming back from a groin injury. Travoy Boykin looked good again, scoring a touchdown on this end zone, a 16-yard scramble, but he also admitted to leaving some plays out on the field, not getting the ball to his receivers enough. And he has had a problem getting plays out correctly, the verbiage in the huddle. But he still looks like he's going to be the number 2 quarterback. Pete Carroll, when I asked him that after the game, number 2 quarterback for the regular season, when I asked Pete Carroll if it's Boykin's job now, he said, well, he's had that job all along. He didn't commit to Boykin being the number 2 quarterback for the start of the regular season. Remember, Tavares Jackson is still available as a free agent, the backup to Russell Wilson since the 2012 season, until his contract expired in January. The only injury of note during the game, Pete Carroll said that Tanner McAvoy, rookie now tight end, who has been a center in the spring, a safety in the spring, linebacker or wide receiver until this week. McAvoy caught a 43-yard pass from Wilson on another scramble play in the third quarter, and then went out later in the game with a tweaked groin, to use Pete Carroll's word. Not quite sure on the severity of that. McAvoy's made some real gains on possibly making this team as a 6'6" tight end / wide receiver special teams player. So any injury now going into the last preseason game would be a big setback for him. The Seahawks play next, their final preseason game, next Thursday night, a week from tonight, in Oakland. Starters will play maybe token appearances, if that. And then the season gets real September 11th against the Miami Dolphins. Thanks for watching and have a good weekend.